Welcome to the Rig on Wheels show featuring MVT. This is the first ever truck driver recruitment show. I am your host, Camille Gaines, the CEO of Rig on Wheels. And normally joining me is Robert Pearson, which is the VP of recruitment at Mesilla Valley Transportation. But we decided to give him the day off. Okay, so he gets one day off every 5 years. That is it. Okay, so joining me today is Deborah Dominguez. So she is one of the lead recruiters at Rig on Wheels. Okay, so she is one of our multilingual recruiters. So this is still going to be your ultimate destination for trucking news, insights, hot jobs, recruitment tips. And so let's definitely make history together. Welcome, Deborah.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be here with Camille.
Yeah. So first, she has no idea what we're going to be talking about other than obviously trucking recruitment. But first, I kind of want you to introduce yourself a little bit. Everybody knows you're multilingual because I kind of like spilled the beans. But tell us what other languages other than English that you speak.
Hi, everyone. I am Deborah. I am a bilingual recruiter. I speak Spanish and English. I've been here in the United States for almost 20 years. I enjoy recruiting. I enjoy helping drivers. So I'm here to help y'all.
So how long have you been a third-party recruiter with Rig on Wheels?
It's been almost 2 years. It's been a year and 8 months. I started last year, and It's been a great experience.
Yeah, we love you over here. We love her over here at Rig on Wheels. Okay, so first, we're going to keep things very similar to how Pierce and I always do it. And so I kind of want to jump into the news. I wish I had better news to talk about other than this diesel keep going up. I don't want to be such a drab, but we literally are on our 8th week of this diesel steady rising, and as Pearson keeps saying, it's going to keep going. We don't know when it's going to come down. I wish I had better news. I even printed it out from transport topics. I was like, maybe if I printed it out, I'll see something that was better. But it is really has risen for the last 8 straight weeks with an increase of 73.4 cents. Because Pearson is not here, and I want to make sure I give you all of the facts exactly the way they are, because I like to be factual. I, brought my readers to make sure that I did that. But I just really want drivers to make sure that they're doing the controllable. Okay, so which also is part of safety. Staying within the speeds. So that helps your diesel, right? Doing as much pre-planning with your trips as possible. Knowing where you're going to be coming off the road, not jumping off on the ramps every time you can, making sure you're controlling your meals. So when you have to go to the restroom, things like that. You want to protect your diesel as much as possible. I mean, literally as much as possible. Next week, we are really going to have a treat and have one of a veteran driver, Delmont, and he gave me such A to Z when he talked about controlling, because he's been a fleet manager, operations manager, owner operator, and now back a company driver. So he had told me from A to Z about controlling diesel. So he's really going to talk a lot about, definitely a lot about that. So what I want us to do, since we were talking about drivers and all that good stuff, what I want us to do first is jump into our first commercial with one of our most favorite rig on wheels drivers with Anthony. So let's jump into our first commercial. Then we're gonna get back and talk about more of driver questions that Deborah experiences with the drivers. Okay. See you back in 2 and 2. I'm gonna keep doing that. Bryce is on vacation, but I plan on irritating her and my daughter because they don't like the whole. They feel like old people do that. So going back to Chuck, will I forget his name anyway? But be back in 2 and 2.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anthony Davis. I'm a truck driver from Cleveland, Texas. I've been driving for 3.5 years now. I recently saw a podcast with Rig on Wheels on YouTube. I gave them a call. They was fast, they was efficient, they helped me out. I didn't really want to be over the road, so they got me to read the job. And hey, you should give them a call.
Welcome back, y'all. Thank you for coming back. So what I want to do is look at Deborah. I want her to tell us all the good, bad, and the ugly. But no, literally unscripted, right? So tell us some of the questions. I know one, we were talking about it with Kayla, because Kayla got the question as well as Deborah was saying that she got the question earlier today. So tell us one of the questions that drivers ask a lot and how you answer.
So what driver ask most of the time is like, are we are a third party recruiting agency, so they ask, am I going to be employed by you, am I going to work for the company, what is the deal? So we place them directly to the company. We only help them with the application process, making sure that they go to orientation, and after that they're working directly for the company. We just basically help them, pick the right company for them, give them options. That's part of our job, making sure you, the driver, has the ideal job. And then, like I said, after that, you'll be working directly for the company you picked.
So speaking of that, and I'm glad you said that, let's talk about the process a little bit more. And I know we talk about it with Pearson, but that's kind of like C-suite talk or whatever, management talk. So I want to talk about it directly with you. So you said that as a third party recruiter, you help with the application process. Tell us a little bit more. What does that mean? What do you do?
So whenever we'll get on the phone with the driver, we ask them questions. We pre-qualify the driver, and we also ask them, what is your preference? What are you looking for? It is very important for us to know what are you looking for, so we can give you the options that will most fit your needs. If you're looking for local, regional, OTR, whatever that might be, we have them all. So we'll be able to sort it out and see which company you will qualify for based on what you're telling us and based on the application that you complete with us. Now, if everything looks good after that, then we have, if you decide you want to go for more than one company, then we have that option as well.
And I didn't want to cut you off. I'm learning this new thing about not being rude. So, but I am a digger. What do you mean about what works for them? Tell me more about that.
So when it comes to the process, asking questions, it is very, very important. Like, we want to know, are you looking for something local right now? Are you looking for regional? Are you looking to make certain amount of money? Like, the more questions we ask, the more we can, place you, like I said, with the correct job for you or the ideal job for you. Now, I know that, and sometimes we don't know what we're looking for, and it's okay not to know as well. It's okay, because I have drivers telling me, just tell me what you have, give me all the options, and they go from there as well. So like I said, we are here to help you in the whole process. You can definitely count with us when it comes to, like, guiding you as well when you don't know what to do, where to go, or we have options.
What are some of the questions that you ask when a driver says, tell me everything? Because Camille Gaines gets ballistic if I hear a recruiter, if a driver says, tell me everything, and then I overhear a recruiter saying, oh, and then you just spill out everything. So, what are some of the things that you say to kind of narrow that down?
So I always tell the driver, be upfront. I'm trying to help you. I know that sometimes it is hard for drivers to talk about something that happened many years ago. Like, I had a driver yesterday, like, I had a felony 30 years ago. I said, well, sir, I really need to know what kind of felony. And he goes, it was 30 years ago. What does it matter? It does matter. We do have friendly companies where you can be placed. So if you let me know, hey, I have this felony, or I have this misdemeanor, whatever it might be, right? We're here to help you. So
That's perfect. And definitely with a criminal background, you want to be empathetic. Well, as recruiters, we always want to be empathetic, right? We want to be empathetic with our outside client, which is going to be the driver, right? And our internal clients, which is going to be our uh, trucking companies that we serve, right? And then also the partnered recruiters that we have, like at MVT, we have Josue, correct? So, and Joshua, same person. So we want to make sure that we are asking the right questions, and sometimes it seems like we're digging. That's why I said no. I get can get high strung sometimes because we want to make sure that we ask the right questions for Josue. We want him to be able to serve the driver correctly. We want him to be able to know what is open. Okay, I'm losing my train of thought because something is happening over here. I'm sorry. We want him to be able to know what's open. The driver is already sourced. The driver is already educated about the job already, and have everything narrowed down for the driver as well as for our internal customer, which would be Josue or MVT. Either way, we want to put it there, right?
yeah.
So that's the reason why we continue to dig. We don't want to waste our internal customers' time nor our external customers' time, which is the truck driver. Okay, so what is another question that you get sometimes?
I do get drivers want to know more about the process. So I do get, like, am I going to get paid for orientation? How long is orientation? So orientation usually lasts 3 days. You do get paid for going to orientation. The company will arrange for you to go to orientation as well as each day that you attend. So that's covered by the company. You don't have to worry about anything. Most companies, they do pay for breakfast and lunch. Dinner is on the driver. But like I said, they do pay you per day. And then after those 3 days, you get hired, and then you'll be assigned your truck and you'll be rolling.
Okay, great. So now let's talk about after you take the driver's application, what do we do after that? You take the driver's application, what do you do for the driver after that?
So after speaking with the driver and describing the position that most fits their needs, we submit the application to the company, and after that, the driver waits for a call for the internal processor. The internal processor, within a couple hours, they'll be contacting them. Whenever they contact the driver, they'll go over about the position as well as answering all the questions that they might have. Now, if everything sounds good to the driver, then they proceed in pulling reports, and after that, we'll get an approval.
And then we make sure that we follow up with the drivers consistently, follow up with the company consistently, and also send a summary of what we discussed to the driver via email. And send the driver a text and let them know that we sent the email, because everybody doesn't live off emails like we do, right? So we make sure we do that as well. Anything else that you can think of that has been a huge question, at least today? We'll get into some more that'll kind of jar your memory, but any other ones that you can think of?
No, right now I think that's mainly.
Because I wanted to talk about the process, because you brought up something. I was like, oh, let's talk about the process real quick.
Yeah.
No?
No, I think that's basically, what the driver wants to know, like how the process, how it goes, like we explain, how long does it take, when am I going to be going to, when am I going to start working, like, after I go to orientation. All of those are questions that come every time we speak with a driver. But the process is very simple. As long as you complete the application, we communicate, you're very honest with us, then we're definitely here to give you options and help you to get that job, your ideal job. So
okay, well, we're going to go to the next commercial. When we come back, we're going to talk about the communication and how important the communication is between the driver and the third party recruiter, as well as the driver and the internal recruiter. Welcome back. Welcome back. As you see, Deborah ran out the room, but she'll be back. No worries. But I wanted to discuss right quick communication, how important communication is for us as recruiters. So whether or not the driver is talking directly to us or the internal recruiter, it's so gravely important, especially now with how everything is in a different type of flux in the industry, is the best way to say it. Also, it speaks directly to professional, you being a professional driver, for lack of a better word, right? So let me give you two scenarios, right? Let's say there are simply 5 positions available for this dedicated job. That's it. It's just 5 positions available. And you are a driver that before we had a great communication history with, right? We're not talking about anything current, but we had great communication history with. Our notes depict that. Deborah wasn't your previous recruiter, or Raven wasn't your previous recruiter, but the history shows that that's what it was. You were great, right? So it's 5 positions. That's it. That's all MVT has for this dedicated position. Guess what? Deborah's going to call you. Now, if she looks and sees on the application or on the notes that it's your communication wasn't good, and it took so many times to get you to call back, so many voicemails, so many texts, so many emails, they can't take the chance that you're not going to respond, or the no-show is going to happen, or all of those things are going to happen. And it's another driver that is going to prioritize the job and actually show up for the job. It's all about building relationships. That's what it's about. Building relationships to make sure that we take care of you, because you're going to take care of the company, and the company, MVT, or any other company that we place you with is going to take care of you. That's the reason why communication is very important. And as I say, it speaks to being a professional driver. Hands down, is very, very important. Then on the flip side, when you talk about a company like MVT, for an example, if, let's say, you've changed, you are a driver now that is a professional driver, and your communication has been great, and we put you in, but they see that you have a history of no-shows, and they only have 5 positions available. You show a pattern. That's where we have a problem. They have to have relationships. You, as the driver, are so valuable. You are the first that is going to be in touch with their clients. You're going to be at the yards. You're going to be at the shippers. They need to make sure that they have professional drivers. You're going to be out there with the other drivers. You need to be able to make the decisions right on the spot, and great decisions. So I just want to be always open and honest with you. So I have those type of discussions quite frequently, and I had one today. And when we were doing trainings today, that's what we talked about a lot. How do you explain that to drivers? How do you help drivers make that transition? And that is the reason why we're going on this show. We're going to have more drivers to be able to talk the driver lingo, because I definitely understand it might be a difference. Like, I talk recruiter lingo, so I'm able to have a conversation with Deborah. I'm able to have a conversation with Rachel and the internal recruiters at MVT. But that's definitely what I wanted this segment to be about, is to talk about communication, talk about being a professional driver, talk about us continuing to be professional recruiters. Keep our communication up. That's the reason why I wanted Deborah and I to explain how, after we take your application, how we continue with the follow-up, how we make sure that we send a summary of the job so you know what it is. And even though we know that you are applying to multiple companies, right? You're applying to multiple companies, you have something to reference back to. Also, once you're home with your significant other, you're able to show them, this is what I spoke to my recruiter about, or you're able to send it to them electronically. So that is very important, communication. So with saying that, I am wanting to definitely take this to commercial. I want us, Kayla, if you would, let's do the commercial with the tall guy. And I always want to talk about this because MVT has some very nice trucks. And so I want to point out that the guy that is inside of this truck is not an average height. He is 6'5". So when he's in the condo of this truck, it just shows you all of movement that he's able to do and stand up and everything in the truck. So I think that just speaks for itself. It's not like me. I'm not even 5'3", so me being in the truck is not a big deal. But him being in the truck that's well over a foot taller than me is huge. So Kayla, if we could definitely play that, and hopefully by the time that's over, we'll have Deborah back. Thanks.
At Mesilla Valley Transportation, every driver is behind the wheel of a late model International LT, a truck that takes comfort, convenience, and safety to a whole new level. Join us as we explore the impressive features of this powerhouse on wheels. The open road is full of surprises, and sometimes that includes unexpected encounters with wildlife. But worry not, the International LT has you covered. The front end protection guard offers an extra layer of defense, protecting you from animal strikes. Drive with confidence, knowing that you're shielded from the unexpected. We all know how important it is to keep our batteries charged, and our International LTs have your back. The Cummins X15 is equipped with an auto start feature, ensuring that your batteries are automatically recharged when they run low on volts. It's a seamless process that keeps you powered up and ready to hit the road. Disc brakes and an engine brake provide reliable and safe stopping power when you need it most. You can have peace of mind knowing that you're in control. Safety is at the forefront of what we do. Our International LTs are equipped with top-of-the-line safety features to ensure your well-being while out on the road. These tractors are equipped with Bendix fusion protection, collision mitigation, and lane departure warning. Achieving good fuel efficiency deserves recognition. With the International LT, your efforts don't go unnoticed. When you consistently achieve impressive miles per gallon, the International LT rewards you with increased speed. It's a little extra motivation to keep you pushing for better fuel economy. After a long drive, you're ready for a well-deserved break. With the International LT, you can enjoy your rest period in absolute comfort. Thanks to its auxiliary power unit, you can keep the driver's cabin heated or cooled just the way you like it. No matter the weather outside, you'll always find your sweet spot within our International LTs. The International LT understands that comfort extends beyond driving. It's a space where you can truly feel at home. I'm a big guy, and I have room to move around in here. With plenty of room to spare, the International LT accommodates even the tallest drivers. And there's ample storage for all your clothes, cooking essentials, and tools, making life on the road even more convenient. Speaking of cooking, bring along your appliances and don't sacrifice any luxuries thanks to all of our International LTs being equipped with built-in inverters. Dry your hair, make a smoothie, or play a game, all from the comfort of your truck. We take pride in our well-maintained fleet, and if by chance you do come across something wrong on your truck, you're never far from help thanks to our valuable relationship with Penske. With more than 750 brick-and-mortar Penske shops nationwide, their expert team is always ready to assist you. From routine maintenance to unexpected repairs, they'll get you taken care of and back on the road in no time. And there you have it. Just a few things about this late model International LT that make MVT the place to be.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I just want to point out, I really pick out these commercials, if you cannot tell. I just really enjoy the fact that he talk about the Penske and the partnership and everything, because I really appreciate a company that takes care of their trucks, because it takes care of their drivers and it gets the deliveries on time. I come from a trucking family, so that's pretty huge for me, and it's pretty emotional. We probably talk about it quite a bit in our meetings, very passionately about stuff like that. But first, I heard Kayla told me we got shout outs on Facebook about us, and somebody called me skinny, so I appreciate that. um, but yeah, so thank you about that. And Deborah didn't run away. We love her. She stayed, everybody, and she's staying for the whole time. She picked up her daughter from school early so she can be with me the whole time, since we gave Pearson his 1 day off every 5 years. That's it. Kayla, you said that somebody from LinkedIn. I'm not gonna say LinkedIn is my favorite platform, but I will say that, I like it better than all the rest.
Yes, Camille, we had a question come through.
Can you talk louder? Because we can't hear you.
Yes, we had a question come through on LinkedIn from Zatrell Quick. He said, "Are y'all working with company driver and owner ops?" Question mark.
Okay, so that's a loaded question. So let's first chop it up a little bit, right? So, company drivers, yes, 152%, right? So owner ops, that can go multiple ways. Are you talking about, can we find drivers for you? We do have a form that you can fill out, and depending on what your needs are, we can try to help with that. If you are looking for freight, if that is something we can help with, we will either try to help you with that, or we will refer you out to a couple of different. I have about 3 brokers that I also work with that can help you with that as well. If we may not have something for you, and then if you're looking to be leased on, we do have that option for you as well. So, Mr. Quick, I hope I answered your question. So let me run it down again. 152% to the company drivers. Okay. If you're looking for us to find you drivers, you can fill out the form that's on the website, rigonwheels.com, and depending what your needs are, we'll definitely be able to evaluate. If you're looking to lease on with someone up under somebody else's authority, we can help with that. If you're looking for our brokerage services, if we're able to help you, we will. If not, can help you be referred out to 3 other sources. Someone that is big in tankers, water tanker, things like that, flatbed, and then the aerospace. So that covers.
Yeah.
That was the 3 things I just said, right?
And if you still have more questions, definitely give us a call. We'll be more than happy to speak with you.
281-968-3100. Okay. So while you ran out away for a few seconds, what I was explaining was just the communications. I just want to talk about it for just one quick second, just in case Deborah Dominguez had something else that she wanted to say. When I was talking about why it was so important for the communication, I want to talk about patterns, because let's say MVT had 5 jobs, and let's say the driver originally wasn't yours, but you saw notes, and the notes did not look like this person was a great communicator, and you did not want to take the chance that they may not show up or communicate very well. So you would pass them up to go for a driver that may communicate better, and they may look to communicate well, but once they get over to Josue, possibly they didn't communicate or did a no-show before with him or the company, then he can't take the chance. So I was kind of saying that. Anything that you want to piggyback off?
No, that is so important to let the drivers know that communication is a key in the process. Definitely, what you said is it's right. When it comes to lack of notes, when it comes to and that's what we let them know whenever we speak with the driver. And we did the process. We submit the application. Just let them know, hey, an internal processor from the company is going to give you a call. Now, it is important for the driver to know, because some drivers don't want to speak with nobody else but you, and it is important to let them know so they can communicate with them as well as they can communicate with us. This is our partnership. We both are working together, the company and I, to get you to this, opening. So, yes, well said.
Okay.
Communication is a key.
Absolutely. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is one of the hot jobs that MVT has open. And because I want to make sure, okay, don't talk about me. I know my daughter is going to be so upset. I really don't care. This is what happens when you get middle age. It is just part of the aging process. It is what it is. Just keep living. But I just want to make sure, because I am a Virgo and I am all about giving the information right the first time. And if I don't know it, I always come back and rephrase or get the information for you. But one of MVT's hottest jobs, and it's paying so well, and it is really about knowing, and this is the reason why I was telling Dominguez, making sure you're asking the drivers what is it they're looking for. So if a driver is needing a certain amount of income, right? So this division 220 is paying up to $2,040. That's some good money, right? So I'm not going to go into how much the houses are worth in Phoenix, Arizona. That's a Pearson thing. Okay, so we're not doing that. Okay, But what I will say is if you are in certain areas, and we're going to get into that, and you're looking for a job that is making 2,000 or a little bit more a week, this is it. You're going to be dealing with the chains and all of that. But if you're in that area and you're used to running this particular area, that is what you do anyway. Okay.
Yep.
Don't laugh. To see, she already making fun of me. I can see it now. It is what it is. They are going to turn this segment into an entire meme at Rig on Wheels. But anyway, so the hiring area is 50 miles of Portland, Oregon, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. Now, sometimes you might have to run through California. It just depends on the freight. Uh, but other than that, it's basically like doing the Western 11 is a good way to say it. But your average 28 to 3,200 miles. If I was on the phone recruiting for this, I would basically if I was on the phone recruiting for this, I would basically say 3,000 miles is what I'll be recruiting for. Okay, that's how I would sell it. Okay. 48 hours is what they'll be home for their home time. They're going to be out 7 to 8 days a week, 7 to 8 days at a time if they're solo. Now, if you're doing teams, you're going to do 6,000 miles as a team and you'll still be home for that 48 hours.
And that's one of the great things about MBT, the 2 days, 48 hours of home time.
Yeah.
Drivers like that.
Okay. So your full 48 hours. Now, the way I said that, do you have any questions? The way I said it. And the reason why I say this is because we have global recruiters. Everybody in all countries serve the American market, right? So the American market, the drivers that live here for the openings here, right? But what I always tell everybody, depending on where you live, where you're from, everybody is going to understand things differently. Don't I say that all the time? And we do, right? I'm from Chicago. I feel like when I moved here to Houston, Texas, I was dropped in this foreign land called Houston, and everybody spoke a different language. The way I said that, did I communicate it where you understood it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. If any of the drivers feel like you didn't understand, please say something. That way, Kayla can say something and I can respond back to it. Yeah, I can definitely say that. Now, let me say, one of the differences that is going to be different is in Portland, you need to have two right now, just right now. It's not going to be like this forever. But right now, Portland drivers need to have 2 years experience with 2 or less jobs, right? In the last
year.
In the last year. Okay. Is the way it needs to be. In the other states, it's still the 6 months. Okay. Is how that works. Let me see some big stuff to point out that might be huge. There might be huge differences with other companies. Not much of anything. Everything else is pretty similar. I just wanted to bring it out just in case if I saw anything that was hugely different. Nothing hugely different. Oh, I wanted to mention this because I almost forgot. I don't know how I almost forgot this. So, and I should have said it earlier. I was just so happy that you were here for the entire podcast show. I didn't know what to do. So sweet to me. So sweet to me. Okay, so happy Driver Appreciation Week. So last week, we did a challenge, a very elite challenge, because it was about the September Virgo driver. So I'm a little biased because I am a Virgo. And so what we did was for drivers that were born in September, not Libras. A few of you all was trying to drip in there. That was so cute. Y'all was cute though. And wanted to what I wanted to do is have the Rig on Wheels show sponsor a headset, the Blue Parrot headset with one ear, not two, because when I use them, I do two. But anyway, I'm not a driver. With one ear, we do have a winner. His name is Percy Grant out of Montgomery, Alabama. So he's a driver, and he's been driving now for what Percy say? 17, 18 years, something like that. 17 or 18 years. His birthday is mid-September. So, yes, so he is definitely a Virgo. So I am definitely excited about that, and we appreciate at the Rig on Wheels and the Rig on Wheels show, we appreciate all truck drivers. That is 100% the truth. But I did want to just do something, Virgo-ish. I was Virgoing this day, so I wanted to do that and appreciate the Virgo truck drivers. And so, Percy, I did not, we were only texting, so I didn't ask you whether or not you wanted the gift card for Blue Parrot or if you wanted me to send it directly to your house. And the reason why is because I don't know if he's a home daily driver or over the road. But we'll definitely find that out. But what we are going to do now is go to another commercial. And Kayla, let's do the commercial about the car that one day my husband is going to win for me. When I get a husband again.
Mi nombre es Carlos Vázquez. Tengo trabajando 3 años aproximadamente y somos B1 y andamos en territorio de Estados Unidos. Lo que me gusta de MBT es que tiene buenos viajes, buenos camiones y muy buenas millas. Mi comunicación con el despacho es muy buena y todo eso, y siempre están a la orden del día. ¿Qué pienso del equipo de los camiones? Pues que están muy bien y les dan sus mantenimientos, sus PO y todo lo demás, alineación y balanceo, todo, cambio de llantas y excelente servicio. La compañía cada trimestre regala un auto para los operadores. Me motiva pues a crecer más como persona y pues, para dar el 100, como dicen, para la compañía.
We are back, y'all. Thank y'all for coming back. Thank you for coming back. Kayla, did we have any more questions from LinkedIn? I know you said that something was emailed.
Not from LinkedIn, but we do have a couple of questions. So, how do you celebrate Driver Appreciation Week for your drivers?
Well, with Rig on Wheels, we definitely try to, we randomly do things like what we just did with that. And also, we randomly decide, okay, we want to buy this driver dinner, or we're going to buy this driver some lunch or something like that. Oh, this driver was so sweet on the phone. We get emotional sometimes in our meetings. Some driver just overly nice or something like that. And so we just want to appreciate them. Yeah. So, because some days are difficult. With being a third-party recruiter, sometimes we get changes 15 in an hour from a company or things like that. And we literally have the best drivers. I'm not gonna lie. We have the best drivers. But there are drivers truly that stand out. And that's what we do. We do it on a regular basis anyway, but during this week, it's almost like Christmas. You know how like you start getting that warm feeling, so you just start doing all type of nice stuff for people. So it's like that during Driver Appreciation Week as well. We'll do random things for drivers as it hits us. It's not always just very uniform. It's this driver really is going out of their way. They don't have to be nice to us, you know. Like yesterday, Percy was teaching us some things as he was texting, and I had a question about something that DeAnthony said on the podcast a couple of weeks ago when my video editor was editing, you know, and I just so happened to ask him because he told me he had 18 years of experience. So I bought him lunch. You know what I mean? Like, in addition to the headset, that taught me something. Yes, I have 13 years of experience. Yes, 2 years of a driver for you, but you've been in supply chain when you were at Target. But it's nothing like talk. Right. She used to unload trucks. This little bitty lady. But it's nothing like being able to talk to drivers and drivers that are that tenured, because you teach us so much.
Every day.
Right. And Delmont being an owner operator, a company driver, a fleet manager, operations manager, dealing with dump trucks, log trucks, flatbed, tanker, hazmat. Like, that's so much stuff. And him saying things, and I'm like, okay. You know, and I'm just listening because, and he said, I know you know this, Camille. And I say, even if I know it, I don't know it from a driver's perspective. And that allows me, when I was on the phone as a recruiter, that allowed me to serve my driver. Now, as a CEO, that allows me to serve my recruiters. That is, for me personally, that's huge. So that's the reason why I just randomly do things. So when we have we always appreciate our drivers. I'm very passionate about that. Sometimes, very passionate. But I'm very passionate about it. But it's just like our birthday or Mother's Day, you really show even more. What do you think? Like,
yes, that is correct. We really appreciate them. We appreciate, everything that they share with us as well, because sometimes, like Camille said, we're on this side. It's always good to hear the other side, and we really appreciate every single one of them.
Yeah, and just the sacrifice, that part of it, the sacrifice that it takes to be a driver, even the drivers, when we think of sacrifice, I'm not going to get emotional. I promise. But even when a lot of time we talk about the sacrifice to be a driver, everybody thinks of regional and OTR drivers. And that is a sacrifice. That's a sacrifice for the Division 220 with the chains that's going to be out 7 to 8 days. And that's the reason why they're making 2,000 and 2,000 plus a week, okay? But let me tell you what else is a sacrifice. My friend Stanley, that is home every night doing intermodal in Chicago, and he has to deal with the traffic, right? That sacrifice, that he has to be in that traffic every day, right? That's a sacrifice. And even though sometimes I do 14 hours at the office, he didn't feel well, but he still had to go to the rail yard, He still had to go to the ports and he still had to do that. Last week when I had a fever, what did I do? I went home. You know what I mean? That's one heck of a sacrifice. So I'm not gonna get emotional because things like that, that type of thing, he can't just say, he has a load on his back. So he can't just say, "Oh, I don't feel good like that," and go home like we can. So it's still a sacrifice. It's an ultimate sacrifice, in fact. Any other question? Less emotional. I know that wasn't supposed to be emotional, but Kayla, any
Yes,
other?
we have one more. From the time you put in an application to the time you officially start orientation, about how long is that usually?
Depends on the company.
Correct. They
And,
do have orientation every week, but it really depends on, which company we place them. The process, like I said, is fairly fast. So,
and then you know what else? We're not gonna even put it all on the company. I'm a Virgo, so the glass is not always full. It's sometimes it's half empty. It depends on the driver too, and it goes back to the communication. It depends on the driver and the communication, but I'm gonna also do this because I can run a hard bargain, and that's the reason why we train. At Rig on Wheels, we're gonna train. We're gonna have a meeting every day, and we're gonna train, and we're gonna have a meeting every day because it also goes down to your recruiter. How proficient is your recruiter? How experienced is your recruiter? And I don't mean experienced in that particular job, experienced in the training that they have received. How much are they studying this particular job that they're trying to sell you or talk about or whatever it is? So it's a lot that goes into that. That's probably why I'm so passionate. But one of the things I want to say is the driver. How bad do you want it? That's the reason why we ask those questions and we dive into it. What is it that you're looking for? Can you pass a hair drug test? Can you pass a drug test? What is your last company going to say about you? How clean is your MVR? When was your last accident? That's the reason why those questions are asked, because this company may not fit you, but this company fits you. So instead of hee-hawing around, we can really get to what is needed. What type of home time are you looking for? We don't want to talk about local. What does local mean to you? Because every driver, local means something different. Heck, local means something different between Deborah and I. So questions like that, and having that communication open. And then another thing, having a recruiter that is actually committed to helping you and committed to asking you those questions and committed to asking you the hard questions, like Deborah said about the criminal, asking some of these hard questions in states that it's permitted to ask these hard questions, and making sure that we keep each other accountable. um, but most of the companies' orientation is every week. So as long as the communication is open between all three parties, we can definitely get the drivers in there fairly quickly. Anything else, Kayla?
That's all I have for now.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to say?
no, we really appreciate y'all. I just wanted to, say it one more time. Your job is very important. We really value you as a driver. Give us a call if you need anything. The numbers are right there on the picture. But that's it.
Yeah, so like Deborah Dominguez said, and I do want to say this, and I don't think we say this enough. We do have a staff that is multilingual, and as she says, she speaks Espanol. So that is wonderful. Also, if you are needing and wanting a job with MVT or any other carrier, we do recruit for quite a few different carriers. Give us a call at 281 968-3100, 281-968-3100, or go to the website at rigonwheels.com. And we will be here next week, Tuesday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Pearson will be back because he does not get another off day for another 5 years. Bye, everybody.